Music Store Live, and today I'm joined with Zach Meyers of Shinedown and the Fairwell, and we're going to talk to Zach a little bit about some guitar stuff. It's all part of our Gold Rush 2014 giveaway. Zach, how's it going today, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Where are you talking to us today from?
I'm at home, Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, nice. Cool. How's things in Memphis down there today?
It's nice. A nice day out. So yeah, hanging at home. We have about a year off from touring, so we're gonna make a record and write a record and all that good stuff, and then we'll be back out on tour probably about this time next year.
Oh, nice. That's exciting. Are you going to be doing stuff down in your neck of the woods there for the recording down in the Memphis area, or?
No, we usually make records out in LA. It's just, that's where everything is. It just seems easier. I would enjoy going to like a remote location like Bearsville, New York, or something like that, and getting away where no one actually lives. But
oh yeah,
we haven't really done anything here, I don't think, really.
Gotcha. Yeah, Bearsville is supposed to be a great area. That's not too far from us up here in Burlington.
Oh yeah, I love. I've been to Bearsville once, but yeah, I like it up there a lot.
That's cool, man. All right, well, let's jump into some guitar stuff, man. So, you got this new guitar out. You got the new SC model, your new signature, and
yeah.
So you had your first signature model out in about 2010, if I'm right, with PRS. Is that correct?
Yep.
And the model has changed a little bit. The 2014 model is really popular. We have a lot of people, always kind of checking that out with us at Music Store Live. For you, what's the biggest change or the biggest advantage of the newer model, the 2014 model, compared to your first signature model?
I think I've been with PRS for so long. What happened is when I made the first one, I was so excited to have kind of my own model that I think I made that guitar more for myself.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't necessarily think about it from a marketing standpoint or from a consumer standpoint as far as players go. And, I wanted to make a cool guitar that looked cool aesthetically and that was, just a good viable option for a rock guitar. But I didn't necessarily take into the account that a lot of guys are shredders, unlike myself, and a lot of guys, that kind of middle pickup gets in the way.
Uh-huh.
So, and the other option too was on this new guitar is I wanted to take that away, and as I'm getting older, I definitely appreciate a lighter guitar.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Having the hollow body was another big thing, making it hollow. And then my main thing was the SEs to me are such great guitars and such underrated guitars, and people don't realize the quality that for a foreign guitar, it is the best foreign guitar on the market, hands down, period. You won't find anything better. And the thing I wanted to do is because people see SE sometimes, they can go, okay, well this is like the Epiphone or the Squire. I think that I wanted to make a guitar that didn't look like an SE.
Right.
So people would just kind of grab the guitar and pick it up and think it was a private stock guitar with a custom color that they don't offer, and then a natural back and certain vintage appointments. And I think that's what we did. I remember when we were shooting the ad for it and the PRS Archon 2, that it was sitting there, and I remember Mark Tremonti and Emil Wurzler sitting there saying that the guitar was sitting there, and they thought it was a private stock guitar. So that was kind of what I wanted to do.
Well, I think you did a really good job kind of, fooling people, so to speak, because, you pull up the guitar on, let's say, the PRS website, and immediately you see this picture of this guitar. Let's say you're, looking for it for the first time or something like that, and you're looking around on the Internet, and it definitely doesn't jump out at you like most of the SC guitars normally do, and I think it's because of a lot of these options like you're talking about. I mean, you get the single cut, you get this, semi-hollow design. And then by the time you get up to the headstock and you see, the vintage-style tuners, your eye takes all this stuff in. And normally you probably would have already, picked up on something that would have screamed, oh, this is from the SE line or something. But your first visual of the guitar is definitely, this is a really top-shelf-looking Paul Reed Smith guitar. And, yeah, so nice work.
Yeah, thanks. I think that's, I mean, like I said, that's what we were going for. You know, we wanted something that stuck out, that was original, and that didn't really. We wanted something that kind of broke the SE line. And hopefully, you know, I'm not the only one. Hopefully, other, you know, artists, that they get a signature model, do something like that. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I think when you see an SE, whether it's the curves or the body shape or the way it's shaped, that you can say, okay, that's an SE. And I think my guitar, you don't look at it and thinking of an SE.
Yeah, I agree totally. To your, what you said about it being lighter, obviously it's going to be a little lighter because you have a chambered body in there. Typically, what are these guys weighing in at? Like for somebody that's like being a little bit more conscious about the weight of their guitar, maybe you're playing for 3-4 hours a night, and like you want to watch how much weight you're putting on your shoulder and on your back. Like what does yours weigh in about, or what are these typically running? Are they under 8 or 9 pounds probably?
I think that they're right at 8. 7,
cool.
Between 7 and 8, which is a pretty light guitar.
Right.
I've got a PRS single cut that weighs 12.5 pounds. And you got that thing strapped around your neck, for an hour and a half, 2-hour show.
Yep.
And you're jumping around. That's going to do some damage to your shoulder after a while.
Sure. Yeah.
And me being, now touring, so it's 16 years. So it definitely puts wear and tear on you for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm in the same camp. I like a lighter guitar. Something between 7 and 8 pounds is really a great place to find something. And a lot of players, as the years tick by, they're looking for something that's a little lighter, a little bit more comfortable to deal with. That's really cool that that's happening. One other thing I noticed, a big change between these models is, you got the bird inlays going on the 2014 model.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to ask, was that your idea? Was that somebody at Paul Reed Smith's idea versus maybe the fleur de lis on there?
It goes back to what I said with the first question. I really wanted to make this guitar not about me. I wanted it to be my signature model, but I think with the first signature model, the fleur de lis, some people may not be into that. The triple humbucker. I just wanted, honestly, if I could take my name off the guitar, I would.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to make it a player's guitar. I think one of my favorite signature models ever released was the very first Joe Perry Gibson Les Paul, and it was almost like a purple burst. And the biggest bummer about the whole guitar was his signature was printed underneath the bridge of the guitar.
Yeah.
And silver Sharpie, the brightest, and it was permanently printed on there, you couldn't get rid of it. And it was such a great guitar, it had this huge neck on it, which I liked, and just that signature just bummed me out so much that, I wanted to make a guitar that wasn't about me. I wanted to make this where anybody could play it. I know a couple of people. I think the guys from Papa Evil maybe are playing. My buddy Devin Malone, who plays for Hunter Hayes, is playing one.
Oh, nice.
I just wanted to make it to where, it was just a cool guitar, and you didn't have to, I understand that there's guitar players out there who aren't a fan of me or my band, or I'm not saying they're not a fan of me, they might not even know who I am, but maybe they're not a fan of our band, and they want a great guitar, and that's what I wanted to make that guitar for, people who could care less about me or my band and still, wanted a great guitar for a great price.
Well, that's a really, that's a great approach, Zach. That's something I'm sure a lot of people applaud, if they get a chance to hear where you're coming from. Because, yeah, I'm sure everybody has that kind of experience where there was some guitar at some point along the way that they stepped up to or bought or played, and it just knocked them back. And then they said to themselves, the only thing separating me from getting this guitar is the fact that, maybe it's got like you said, some giant Joe Perry signature blazing across the top of the guitar, and they just don't want to deal with that on a daily basis.
Yeah, there's definitely those elements of you're like, no, I really like this, but I'm not a
You're not looking
Hall &
to
Oates
the advertisement.
I don't want the Hall & Oates Epiphone. Well, I am actually a Hall & Oates fan, but you know what I mean. I don't want to get the John Lennon Epiphone acoustic because it has a picture of John Lennon on it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
no, that's a good point. Well, I'll shift gears with you for a second, but we'll stay on the PRS guitars if that's cool. So, when you're you're on a break right now, but when you're touring, you're out there. You got at least. I mean, I've seen a rig rundown or two of what you're carrying. You got at least like 10 PRS guitars with you at the shows.
There's usually always electrics. There's usually always 12. There's 6 guitars and usually 6 backups.
Okay. So what's
and
the one
I play all 12 of them.
You're playing them all for every show. What's the one that's getting broken out more than any other guitar during the course of the evening?
The main, other than the signature model sees a lot of stage time, but other than that, the main guitar on the Aerialist tour was Paul. For my birthday, usually built me a guitar every year, and there was one that he made 2011 when we were making the record, and it's just a beautiful. It's got one F-hole, single cut hollow body, triple humbucker. It has a snakewood neck.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's got the lotus flowers on it. I don't know if you've seen that one, but yeah, that's like the main. That's the main guitar. That thing sounds. I mean, we call it Snake just because of the neck, and me and my tech, and yeah, that's just the one. And then I had them take a Mira, a PRS Mira. Buck Owens is like one of my favorite guitar players, and I had them take a PRS Mira and make it like a Buck Owens Telly. And so it's painted to Buck Owens color. So those 2 guitars are probably my favorite ones, and definitely the Snake guitar sees the most stage time for sure. I think it's like 4 songs.
That's cool, man. That's a nice tip of the hat to Buck. That's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to do it, and it's weird because I'm a total Fender Telly guy. Like I probably have 30 or 40 Tellys, and since this new PRS came out, I love it so much. I just I love Fender, and Billy over at Fender is like one of the best guys in the world. But I know PRS wanted me to kind of stick to PRS on stage as much as I could. So instead of bringing out a Buck Owens Telly, I just had them paint one, and they did a great job. They put a mirror guard on it. It's like his, and it looks really awesome.
Nice, dude. That's nice. All right, cool. So that's the one you're breaking out more often than not. Let's see. I don't have too many more questions for you. What about you played bass in Shinedown for a little while.
I did, yeah.
And are you still getting to stay on the bass a little bit here and there these days, or you find yourself picking it up? And what are you playing when you're playing bass? Fender jazz basses are definitely one of my favorite basses. When I was playing bass in Shinedown, I played all Lakelands. Because in Shinedown, I liked using 5 strings, even though I never necessarily used the low B that much. I love bigger necks, so I always liked 5 strings. So Lakelands, and I pick it up every once in a while. When we're writing, usually Eric's a guitar player as well, so if it's his idea, like if we're starting a song that's Eric's idea, I'll go to bass. Sure. And just so we have that kind of element in there. But yeah, I don't get to do it as much as I used to. But yeah, Fender jazz basses and Lakelands are probably my favorite basses. Nice, that's cool. How about have you had a chance to use any of the Paul Reed Smith amps yet? Yeah, I have a custom 2-channel at the house right now, and I have an Archon. And, how's the Archon going? It's great. I think they made an amp. One of my favorite rock amps is a Diesel Herbert, and I think that they made an amp that could withstand in that rock world. That is a high gain, saturated amp, and it sounds so good. I mean, Doug Soul is. I don't know if you're familiar with Doug Soul, but I met Doug last year. He's wonderful dude. He's just the best at designing amps. I mean, I think he cares so much about every little appointment to the amp that it shows. And, every amp he's ever designed for PRS is just like top notch and just so rich in tone. And, I don't know if you guys have heard it yet, but if you get the chance to hear the David Grissom, that signature amp, it is the tone that you dream about when you okay, I want just an open chord where, when you want to sound like the Edge. You know what I mean? When you hit an open chord, but it has gain and you want to hear every single string, like that David Grissom amp is, nothing beats it. like we've seen some of these guys before. I feel like that's something that Doug was talking about when we met up last year. I'm sure that's one that they're very proud of, that they're excited to share with people.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, David Grissom could play a PV band at 15, and it's going to sound ridiculous.
Yeah. There's a few guys out there that can say that. He's one of them.
Yeah. Him, Eric Gales, Eric Johnson are guys that just it doesn't matter what they play.
Sure. I got one more to just change gears on you a little bit. I see that you're kind of gotten into the artist management thing, and I was wondering, how much time you're spending with that these days.
I'm not doing it anymore. It was honestly, it bums me out that anybody can update Wikipedia.
No, bummer.
It was something that I did to help some friends out, honestly.
Okay.
I did it for a minute, and then I realized that it's just so busy, I just don't have time to, my manager gets enough of my calls. I don't need somebody calling me and going, hey, where's this and what's this and we should do this, and I just don't have time for that. And it's more frustrating than anything. It made me have a lot more respect for my manager, that's for sure. But I kind of did it. I kind of just did it to help some friends out, and it's definitely something that's fun. And I wouldn't say that I'm doing the artist management thing anymore. I definitely say more I'm helping friends out if they need it, But yeah, it was definitely a trial and error. I just don't have time for this kind of thing.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, we don't have to leave that in the interview. When I put this together.
Oh no, it's fine. It's just something I'm not doing anymore.
Oh, that's cool. Well, yeah, like you said, it's a bummer anybody can update Wikipedia because a lot of artists, as they they're out there, they're touring, they do a lot of records, they're in a bunch of bands, and eventually they start trying other things like producing and maybe doing some management and stuff like that. But you're probably busy enough between touring and doing records and stuff where it's like. It's another full-time job to take on, so it'll take up a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool that it gives you a better perspective for all the work that your manager's doing for you all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, okay, I'll leave you. Let's see, maybe one more. A lot of people have been through your fans years. They're already going to be familiar with your influences. Some of the more heavily steep blues rock guys, that you grew up listening to. But you want to shine the light on, any new artists that are out there right now that you want to try to turn other people onto?
I mean, I'm a big supporter of this band, Framing Hanley, that's been out. I mean, they've been out for a little bit, but just a younger band, great band. I think they're incredibly underrated. I think they're incredibly talented. Mm-hmm. Super into them right now. I'm trying to think of any new bands that I'm really into. I haven't really listened to anything crazy new that's just kind of knocked my socks off. The new Casey Musgraves record, so good.
Cool.
Country record.
Yep.
And I mean, Framing Hanley, a guy named Will Hogue, who we brought out on acoustic tour with us, who's a friend of mine who I write songs with, just incredibly amazing, and just so completely underrated. And he actually has the new Chevy truck theme song. That song's Strong, and that's him. And it just incredible guy.
Cool, man. Well, that's cool. That's cool to turn people on to somebody new like that. That's always a good thing to do.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'll let you go there. If there's anything else you want to pop in there, to anybody who's listening, if you got a Paul Reed Smith story or something like that you'd like to share, feel free. I'm sure you've accumulated a few over the years.
I've got a couple. One of the best ones was the first time I ever met Paul. I think I just got on with the company. I want to say I was 16, and it was at Summer NAMM in Nashville, and they were doing, at the time, PRS was doing themed booths. So they did this for probably about 5 years, where they would do a booth, every single model guitar in one color. So the whole booth that year was red.
Uh-huh.
And so my manager at the time takes me in to meet Paul. I just got on with the company, and I was this 16-year-old kid who was total gear nerd, loved all gear, that's all I wanted to talk about. And I was finally getting to meet this guy who I thought was a genius. And he is a genius. I didn't think that, but he was. But I looked up to this guy, and he. So I meet him, and I'm like trying to talk to him about all these guitars, and all he wants to talk about is fly fishing, like the whole time. Like it's like he won't talk about anything else. I'll be like, so on the Custom 22, and he's like fly fishing takes the most patience, and you're just like I'm like, dude, I'm fucking 6. Like I don't care. You know what I mean? Like I love fishing, but like I want to talk to you about like guitars.
Right.
Like just like all kinds of like ridiculous stuff. And then eventually, about an hour and a half after a fly fishing conversation that I did not want to be in or have any part of, he took me around and showed me like every guitar and everything that was different about it. I got to meet Ted McCarty that day when he was still alive. Right. Really just full of knowledge kind of guy. And yeah, so that was definitely a funny one. I have a lot of them. I call him Paul Mad Scientist. He's a guy he's a tinkerer. He messes with stuff. Like I remember getting one of the first NF3s that came out, and when I broke the neck on it, so I get, if I get upset on stage, it's not a great thing because I break stuff, and I kind of threw the guitar down, broke the neck, so they sent me a new one, and it sounded utterly and completely different than the one I had, and he had changed I think 6 things on the guitar by that point. So I ended up having them just send me another neck, and my tech and I just put the new neck on the old guitar.
That's cool.
Yeah,
he's the mad scientist.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, cool, man. Zach, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. Thanks a lot for sharing your insight on the guitars and stuff like that, and sharing some stories with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And yeah, man, we'll see you around at some point soon, and we'll be jazzed to check out the new record when it comes out.
All right, bro. Thanks, man.
All right, man. Have a good rest of your day.
All right,
talk to you soon.
All right, bye.